You are not in this chain of blessed chain of isnad to the Prophet ﷺ, to if you memorize this from Shaykh and the Shaykh from his Shaykh and Shaykh from your chain, it goes back to who? To Allah Azza wa Jal, not only to the Prophet ﷺ. It goes to the Prophet ﷺ, then to Jibreel, then to Allah Azza wa Jal. Then you disconnect yourself from this. So this one of the main reasons our scholars, and one of the great grammarians, his name is Tha'lab, which means fox, but he's the great, he wrote a book, he wrote a dictionary called Al-Mufradat, and it's custom that anyone who wants to learn the Arabic language to memorize this vocabulary of Tha'lab. Well, he went actually to the extreme. He said, إِذَا أَرَدْتَ أَن تَكُونَ عَالِمًا فَاكْسِرِ الْقَلَمِ. If you would like to be a scholar, break your pen. So rely on your ability to memorize. But he was talking about himself, not about ourselves. Now it's changing. Now again, we're talking about historical context to understand how the hadith was actually written. So it was relied on the oral transmission rather than the written transmission. And also at that time, the companions were busy with what? With writing the Quran, not hadith. The priority was the Quran. As you know, the Quran was compiled at the time of Abu Bakr first. And then second one at the time of Uthman. This is what we say, Al-Mushaf al-Uthmani. People may think it's Uthmani referring to the Ottomans. No, it's Uthman radiallahu anhu, referring the affiliation to Uthman radiallahu. So at the time, our companions, they were quite also afraid that people may get busy to write the hadith, they mix it with the Quran, they just leave the Quran. So he said, okay, leave the hadith, do not write hadith now, make sure to. And also, I hear this many times, especially nowadays, maybe the last 20 years, I'm talking about someone who wants to be talib ilm, student, who wants to get himself or herself and to embark on this path of knowledge. I don't understand honestly, and I don't understand, and I consider this as a bid'ah, that people saying that you don't need to memorize the Quran. It's completely wrong. No one said this before. I mean, this is just the last 30, 40 years. Before that, the custom, it was the norm. It was that if you want to embark on this path to be student of knowledge, the first thing you do, memorize the Quran, full stop. That's it. You don't take these books and read them and hadith and Arabic language, nothing. If you take the biography of hundreds of thousands of our scholars in the East, in the West, in the North, and the South, you will find the same profile. He memorized the Quran at the age of 8. He memorized the Quran at the age of 10. He memorized the Quran at the age of 15. He memorized the Quran at the age of 16. He memorized at the age of 20. The first thing to do is to memorize the Quran. To say it's not necessary, myself, I take responsibility. This is great bid'ah in these modern times, honestly. But some people, when they cannot do something, then they claim, no, it's not necessary. No, it is necessary. If you claim that you are student of knowledge and you don't understand the Quran, then go and find different job for yourself. You are not student, you are not talib ilm. Simply, jazakallah khair. Full stop. Don't argue on this. If someone tells you this, you just challenge this person. You said, go to the biographies. You have all the biographies of our scholars in hundreds of thousands. If you can bring someone, even those sometimes who went to be people of bid'ah and so on, they used to start with the Quran. Yes, because that's the beginning. And this is why these companions, radiallahu anhum, they said, don't equip yourself with this. Memorize the Quran. Do not write the Hadith. Yeah, do these, and that's the main thing. So we finish with this. And another feature, which quite also interesting at the time of the companions, that we have a lot of women, companions, women, narrated the hadith at the time of the just after the Prophet ﷺ, more than any time after. It's quite interesting here. So we do have 129 Sahabiya, women, companions, narrated the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ. 129. That's also a huge topic, by the way, and sometimes people advocate also for we don't need to teach women, or teaching women writing is not allowed, or was this fatwa was actually for centuries, by the way. But if you take the great scholars, Imam Suyuti, when he died in 911, when he listed actually his shuyukh, he mentioned, he said, I took knowledge from 300 shaykha. 300. Ibn al-Qayyim, he took his knowledge from over 150 shaykha. And he used, and you know, the two best narration of al-Bukhari, one of them is well known, and the second is from a woman. Her name is Karim al-Marwaziyya. Karim al-Marwaziyya. She was, her copy of al-Bukhari, the most authentic one. People, great scholars, used to go to Shaykha Karim al-Marwaziyya and correct their copy from her. So this great muhadditha. And you know, Aisha radiallahu anha is the top. And we come later on when Umar ibn Abdul Aziz, at the time of Umar ibn Abdul Aziz, so 99 of Hijrah, he was the one who started compiling the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, and he sent a letter. We will talk about this, but just because we talk about women, he sent a letter to the governor of Medina, Abu Bakr ibn Hazm, and he told him, "Ijma' li hadith Rasulillah sallallahu alayhi wasallam." Compile, collect the hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam. وابدأ بحديث عمرة. You start with the hadith of Amra. Amra, she was the student, the best student of Aisha radiallahu anha. Well, at the time, the great scholars were there. Medina, Zuhri was there. Well, he didn't tell him that start with so and so, start with this chief scholar. He said, no, وابدأ بحديث عمرة. And just that's to show us that it was an era of women, great muhaddithat who narrate the hadith of Prophet ﷺ. In fact, recently, last year, I think, 3 years ago, one of the great Indian scholars, Sheikh Akram al-Nadwi, who lives here in Oxford, Sheikh Akram al-Nadwi, he compiled actually a huge work, consists of 16, I think, 16 volumes. I'm not sure if it's 16 or 20. And he listed all the muhaddithats, the women who narrated the hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It calls Al-Wafa bi Akhbar al-Nisa. Al-Wafa bi Akhbar al-Nisa. And I believe 43 volumes, not 16. Yeah, my internet is is Sheikh Akram al-Nadwi. It's a huge work. Yeah, it's a huge work. It looks like this: Al-Wafa bi Asma' al-Nisa. So he listed. Yeah, he went through all the Yeah, it's 43 volumes. MashaAllah, it's great. Sheikh Akram is a great scholar. So he compiled, he went through all these works of hadith and he listed every single woman who narrates the hadith through the years, through the centuries. If you have access, I think he's going to translate the introduction into English, but his introduction is amazing. Yeah, so we'll come to this, inshallah, in the future, inshallah. So, 129 Sahabiya in the first century when the hadith started after the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So that this is one of the features of writing the hadith at that time. Aisha radiallahu anha was the best, and her actually niece Urwa ibn Zubayr. Urwa ibn Zubayr is the son of Asma bint Abi Bakr. So Aisha is his. Urwa ibn Zubayr, his mother is Asma bint Abi Bakr. So who is Aisha for Urwa? His auntie, his khala. His khala. And this, Urwa ibn Zubayr is one of the chiefs of the ulama, the scholars of Medina, the 7 scholars. One of them was complaining. He said, you know what, why Urwa is better than us in terms of knowledge? Because he used to get access to his auntie, Aisha. Because Aisha, well, he can get in anytime he wants, anytime. So and he said before Aisha died, 5 years before Aisha died, he said, I don't care if Aisha dies now. I took all of her knowledge observed by Urwa ibn Zubayr ibn al-Awwam. Urwa ibn Zubayr ibn al-Awwam. So Urwa ibn Zubayr, he said, talking about the ability also and the great knowledge of Aisha radiallahu anha, he said, لَقَدْ صَحِبْتُ عَائِشَةَ, which is his auntie, خالته. So, لَقَدْ صَحِبْتُ عَائِشَةَ. Here, صَحِبْتُ, not to be in companionship, to be her student. فَمَا رَأَيْتُ أَحَدًا قَطُّ, I never ever seen someone كان أعلم بآية أنزلت ولا بفريضة ولا بسنة ولا بشعر ولا أروى له ولا بيوم من أيام العرب ولا بنسب ولا بقضاء ولا طب. So I've never ever seen someone more knowledgeable than Aisha in the Quran. So she used to know every single ayah, where and why was revealed. Farida in terms of inheritance, how to do the inheritance, how to divide. Sunnah, same. Shi'r, poetry. She used to memorize shi'r. And Ayyamul Arab, which is the history of Arabs. She used to know every single details of the history of the pre-Islamic Arabian society. Wala binasab, we said the genealogy. So she used to know every single tribe in the Arabian Peninsula exactly. She would tell you how many families in this tribe and how they connected and so on. Wala tib, to the extent that she used to know what? Medicine. She was a doctor. And then Urwa ibn Zubayr, all these, it was quite normal for him to know the poetry, the hadith, the genealogy. She took from her father, Abu Bakr. He was the best in the Arabian society. But he was, what did you get about the tib? He said, medicine. Ya khala, at-tibbu. Min ayna ullimti? Where did you get this in terms of medical science at that time? Yeah. So look what she said. So she was amazing, radiallahu anha. قالت كنت أمرض فينعت لي الشيء. So I used to get sick, and she used to ask about any medication for this. And she said also something interesting. he said, towards the end of the life of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when people from all over the Arabian Peninsula used to come to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to ask them for medical advices. And he said, oh, if someone gets sick because of this, what do you do in your tribe? So they used to say, so and so, we do so and so. And again, Aisha was memorizing clothes, memory. So she would note this here. So this is what she said, Urwa, I got from this. So that فأحفظه قالت فأسمعهم. So I hear these people saying this to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and then memorize it straight. Well, not the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam would come to Aisha and who would say, Aisha, someone so and so came from Yemen and asked him about the when you have headache. And no. Directly, she used to hear, and then everything is here. That's it. She doesn't need to repeat these again and again. We did 3 sessions on Aisha, if you remember, and how she used to refute the companions. And she used to say, well, Abu Huraira got this wrong, Ibn Abbas got this wrong, Umar got this wrong, and so on. What time we have the Isha? Is 8? Huh? 8, yeah. Of course. So these companions, radiallahu anhum, used to go to Aisha, again here without any complex, by the way. This is maybe society later on got corrupted, and it was getting quite kind of arrogance to take knowledge from women later on. But at the time of the 1st century after the death of the Prophet ﷺ, that was normal for them. Although actually, you see how Islam actually changed the whole society. Before that, they use, they don't care about women. They consider them as wealth, as something we can buy it, we can sell it. That's it. But look how the Prophet ﷺ changed completely their mentality to the extent that they go to Aisha and to Amra, and that the Caliph himself, the head of the state, saying, no, you have to start with the hadith of Amra, the head of the state. So to take this context, because sometimes when you hear Umar ibn Abdul Aziz said, you don't take the context that he's the leader. He's not only leader, not the leader of state like this. He's someone who managed a whole empire from China to Morocco. So imagine one great leader just to send a letter to his governor to say, make sure to record the hadith of Umar. And you may say, how Umar knows Umar, actually, because she was scholar, and because Umar ibn Abdul Aziz was raised in Medina. In Medina, he was raised there, and he took all of his knowledge from Medina, because his father was the governor of Medina. Abdul Aziz ibn Marwan is the governor. And who's the grandfather of Umar ibn Abdul Aziz? Umar ibn al-Khattab. So he used to go to his akhwal, to his all these uncles from his mom's side, and to take knowledge from them. Who were these people? Abdullah ibn Umar and Asim and all these great scholars. So Umar ibn Abdul Aziz, he wasn't head of state like this head of state. He was scholar. He was great, not only scholar, great scholar. He was a mufti. He was someone who's mujaddid, renewal. And when he died, you hear about all Umar ibn Aziz. Well, he didn't die at the age of 90 or just 30 years old. Rahimahullah wa radiyallahu anhu. This is what they consider him as the 5th of al-Khulafa al-Rashidun, the Khamis al-Khulafa al-Rashidin. So sometimes we do forget this context, or we don't know this context. While we consider, we compare someone who is now a president or emir or king or whatever, and you compare it to no, huge. It's like when you between the earth and the sky. Then, until this time, the concept of isnad, it's not yet there. Not yet. Isnad. Because even at the time of the successors, which is tabi'un, the student of the companions, at-tabi'un, comes from tabi'a, to follow, the followers, the successors. Even during this time, the beginning, they used to say, قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم, simply. Because when the great tabi'i, Sa'id ibn Jubayr, who died in 95 of Hijrah, 95 of Al-Hijrah, he used to say, قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. Sa'id ibn Jubayr, if you open the book, the tafsir of Al-Tabari, Imam Al-Tabari of Ibn Kathir, in every 2 pages, if it's not in every page, you'll find Sa'id ibn Jubayr. It's always there. 80% of the tafsirs is from Sa'id ibn Jubayr. He's always there. So this great scholar. And he was great muhaddith. And he used to say, قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. And someone told him, لو تسند لنا, gives your isnad, gives your shame. Where did you get? It's like, where did you get this? Then he got angry. And it's like nowadays, where you find a scholar actually spend all of his time, 50 years, learning and going through books and books, and you'll find someone who just started, who just learned 2 words, and he said, "Oh, this sheikh is just totally out of the scope. Don't take from this sheikh." And you wonder, subhanallah. So this Sa'id ibn Jubayr قالوا لو تسندوا لنا. فغضب, he got angry. قال والله ما كذبنا وما كذبنا. Never say lies. Will never ever. And he said something interesting. He said, وَلَقَدْ غَزَوْتُ غَزْوَةً إِلَى خُرَاسَان. So I was in jihad to Khurasan. Khurasan nowadays is in Iran and part between Iran and Afghanistan. وَلَقَدْ غَزَوْتُ غَزْوَةً إِلَى خُرَاسَان وَمَعَنَا فِيهَا 300 من أصحاب رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. 300 companions. And you asking me to give you my isnad to this? Because he for them, Sa'id ibn Jubayr, he was like companion. Because to witness 300, and we said not every single Sahabi was a muhaddith. We said out of 150,000, we have hadith only from 1,500, simply, that's it. No more than this. 300, so he got 1/3. 1/4, 1/3. 300, 315, 1/3. Nearly. This is here. I mean, sometimes people, it's like, it reminds me. The folk sometimes, they go to the extreme. Sa'd ibn Abi Waqqas, radiallahu anhu, the great companion who was one of the al-mubashshirun, al-ashara, the al-Jannah. And he used to be the governor of al-Kufa. And these people, these arrogant people of al-Kufa, they complain about Sa'd. And they sent a letter to Umar ibn al-Khattab, accusing Sa'd ibn Abi Waqqas of what? Well, he doesn't know how to pray. He doesn't know how to pray. And he was saying he's not just. إن سعد لا يعدل في الرعية ولا يقسم بالسوية. It's a long story. But for me, what it stopped me, these people, he's not a normal Sahabi. He's not just a companion. He's one of the seniors of the companions. And he's part of Al-Ashara. And he was, the Prophet ﷺ used to say, هَذَا سَعْدٌ خَالِي فَلْيُرِينِ أَحَدَكُمْ خَالِي. This is my uncle Sa'd. If you have someone like Sa'd, show me your uncle. That's Sa'd ibn Abi Waqqas, great. When these people complaining about him, no, he doesn't know how to pray. And he is not a just ruler. But he's not a just ruler, yeah, you can say, people always saying this, yeah. But to say that these great companion who doesn't know how to pray, I mean, that's the same actually dilemma that we live in our era. In every single society we have these kind of problems when you have these arrogant people do. I like the word of our scholars. They used to use al-amma, the folks. And sometimes, when I started learning, I would say, well, these scholars are quite arrogant to call people al-amma. No, they were right. They knew things. They read quite a lot, and they know the mentality of how these people think, and how someone who, as I said, reads one book or two books or one hadith or two hadith and start talking about scholars. And they know because they lived this. So Sa'id ibn Jubayr got angry. And at that time, the isnad is not yet there. We will see how this isnad started, when people started asking about al-isnad. The problem comes later on, about 10 years after this, when the great scholar, the first one who started asking about isnad is Zuhri. Because he saw that kind of society, how the society now is getting corrupted, and how people claiming, again, they just, that's the same idea, start learning yesterday, and now they accusing the Sahaba, they're accusing the scholars that they don't know anything, and they bring their own hadith. Then Zuhri would say no, as authority, سموا لنا رجالكم. Tell me, where did you get this? So this is what Ibn Shihab al-Zuhri started. Ibn Shihab al-Zuhri, see, Ibn Jubayr died 94. Ibn Shihab al-Zuhri died 124 al-Hijrah. So as you see, well after. So he lived after Ibn Jubayr for about 40 years. So he died at 124. Then Ibn Shihab al-Zuhri, he was mainly not, but he was the one who started looking for this, saying, "Sammu lana rijalakum." You cannot get away of just saying hadith and you claim such. The Prophet ﷺ said so and so. And this is after what happened in Iraq and so on. And Imam Malik used to accuse the people of Iraq of fabrication of hadith. And the people of Iraq quite got angry. And when the student of Abu Hanifa, the two students, Muhammad al-Hasan and Abu Yusuf, they visited him. So they got angry, accusing us, of saying lies. We are from Iraq, and if someone tells something about your country, you get angry. And he said, "Don't say this. Don't generalize." So Malik, he said, "I'll show you." So he put Muhammad al-Hasan to his right and Abu Yusuf to his left. And they said the majlis was full of people from Al-Iraq. So he turned to Muhammad al-Hasan. Muhammad al-Hasan was again student of Abu Hanifa. Same with his colleague Abu Yusuf. These are the two best in the Hanafi fiqh, Abu Yusuf and Muhammad al-Hasan Shaybani, the best two students of Abu Hanifa. So he turned to Muhammad al-Hasan and he whispered something. He told him something. And he said, "Can you pass it?" And they said, the majlis was about 40 people. And then every single individual would pass this piece of news that started from Malik until it goes back till Abu Yusuf. So Muhammad al-Hasan goes one, and then till came to Muhammad al-Hasan. And so the last man told Muhammad al-Hasan about this story, so and so. Malik so and so said so and so. Then Muhammad al-Hasan, Malik turned to Muhammad al-Hasan. He said, inform the gathering what the man told you about. Because Malik said, he used to say a very famous saying. He said, يخرج الحديث منا شبرا فيذهب إلى العراق ويعود إلينا ذراعا. So the hadith, if we start the hadith from him from Medina, is just the size of hadith is like this. It means just 4 or 5 words. It goes to Iraq, going back to us, coming back to Medina, this length. So if it's 4 words, then the hadith back again to us 30 words, which means fabrication. So he turned to Muhammad al-Hasan. He said, what the man told you? He said, he told me that so and so divorced so and so. Then he turned to Abu Yusuf. What I told you? He said, so and so married so and so. I said, look, that's the proof. That's an anecdote, hikayah, about Senate. Yeah. So when things got actually quite fitna and this kind of civil war in the Islamic Empire, and what happened between the Umayyad and Ibn Zubayr in Mecca, you know, at the time of around the 60s of Al-Hijrah, Abdul Malik ibn Marwan used to be caliph in Damascus, and Abdullah ibn Zubayr used to be caliph in Mecca. So we don't have one empire, and it got actually a war between them. It led to the killing of Abdullah ibn Zubayr in 67 of Al-Hijrah, rahimahullah. And then the Umayyad dominated the whole empire of the Muslim empire. So from that time, people start asking about al-isnad, because now things gets worse, and we need to know where did you get this. So I think we'll stop here, and then if you have any questions, we'll continue, inshallah. Not next week, not the week after, because my teaching commitment actually changed. And I have to teach some evenings, so we have to stop for 4 weeks now. And we will start again, inshallah, I believe in the 10th of November, inshallah. When the time will change, of course, it will be the Isha, it will be 7:30. So we will have these after Isha. So from the 10th of November, because I have to teach evening, so for 4 weeks we don't have, so this is the last week, and then 4 weeks we don't have anything. Then on the 10th of November, those who are with us, they know, so not expecting more. 10th of November, we will have this after Isha, inshallah, not after Maghrib, because Maghrib will be 4 o'clock, or I don't know, 5 or 4, So this is how, again, the al-isnad, and we'll take it from there, inshallah. When we start, we will talk about al-isnad, the concept of isnad. What is al-isnad exactly? And this is something unique for this ummah, by the way. We will talk more about this. Ibn Shihab Zuhri said, no nation in the history has this concept of isnad except our ummah, the ummah of the Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. and the method, the way how they approached isnad is such also amazing. Amazing. They actually came up with a whole discipline, a whole field that it will take you years and years to master this, to know ilm al-rijal and al-isnad. It's just one of the sections in the sciences of hadith. So you have these, you have some people who are specialized only in isnad. They don't know anything about the words of hadith, just people of isnad. So they know exactly every single thing about those people who, the transmitters, who narrate, who transmit the hadith. So it's, I think, we need to know this. We need to know these great concepts of al-isnad, what is it, and how it was developed, and the types of isnad, the best isnad, the weakest isnad, the isnad of, they used to talk about the isnad of liars, those who lie a lot. That's how they know them. They know them. It's like, you know, if you are in a city and you know the shortcuts, and if someone doesn't know, and you take this person through these shortcuts, and you know, imagine, I think we live this experience, I think, all of us, you go with someone to a certain place, and they go, I'll take you short. These scholars, they know the shortcuts. They used, as they said, they used to smell the lies. If they see hadith, as Ibn Ma'in said, أشم الكذب, I can smell it. For them, it's just, you know, is a sense. If you have sick, they have the seventh. When they see something there, now this hadith, something wrong with this hadith. This person is not right. Yeah. And we will discuss more about this, inshallah, and about the concept of, is this ghaiba, is this namima? Well, so we'll talk about this more, inshallah, in the 10th. Yeah, any questions, and then we'll finish in 10 minutes. Yeah.
I just wanted to say that is it the environment around that period, because of most of them learned the Quran, memorized the Quran, and gave them the advantage?
To create this. Yeah, no, it's the expertise itself. It's the expertise, because those people are, they were experts on these, and they. No, not only. Yeah, it is the environment, because some of them, they are actually devoted to this. You know, Imam Shafi'i said he was, you know, he immersed himself in knowledge to the extent he said, if they sent me to buy an onion, I don't know how to buy an onion. So he was busy only with knowledge. Shafi'i. He said it's quite good, you know, good expression. He said, if they ask me to buy onion, you know, onion is easy. You don't need to be expert. If it's watermelon or something, you know, to be expert to get. No, this onion, yeah, you just get it. No, he said, I don't know how to buy it. I don't know what is onion. So it's the environment and sincerity, and that they are devoted themselves, and the passion. Like what I said earlier, we say, okay, I'm going to learn Arabic. And then this same statement you will hear 20 years later. I'm going to memorize the Quran. In Ramadan, we hear so many people. They came to me, Muhammad, I would like to memorize the Quran. I said, okay, you can do this. Okay, I'll come to you, and can you check for me? I said, no problem, come to me. And then, last day of Ramadan, Salaam alaikum. I will see them next year, inshallah. And same thing will happen, long life to all of us till 2040, 2045, 2030. And you take yourself. Yeah, I was telling myself I have to learn, I was quite, for research purposes, I had to learn Farsi. But I was saying to myself, I have to learn Farsi since 1996, and I didn't. I just know Khush Mdid, and that's it. That's the expression, yeah. And I need it in my research. I need Farsi. That's the name, because I don't have passion. Same thing with others. I have to learn this, and then you find you find yourself going back to the same shit. You take this book, you read it today with someone, next year, people move on. You find them in Edinburgh and you're still in Woolwich. I think that's they have the passion. They used to have the passion, sincerity, and commitment to knowledge. If they commit themselves to the extent we said, Urwa ibn Zubayr, when you claim these, you see how these men actually dedicate himself to knowledge with Aisha. He said, if Aisha dies now, I don't care, because I observed, he said, like this, observed all of her knowledge. It's such an amazing statement to know that I took every single, anything that Aisha knows, it's here, that's it. Yeah, exactly. And same thing, so to start knowledge from the beginning. There's those great scholars, to create grammar, to create rules. I mean, if you ask a companion about what is past, present, what is future, what is a nominal sentence, for them, these things were not existed at the time of the Prophet ﷺ or the companions. They didn't know anything because they were eloquent. They don't actually, at that time, there was no need for the grammar. But 90 years after, the grammarians, they said, no, we have to write the grammar. Was the grammar there? No. It wasn't. Was, for example, the subject is there, you say, كتب الطالب رسالة. كتب is wrote, الطالب student رسالة. Who كتب, who wrote الطالب, so الطالب is subject. Was this there? No. How they knew this? You know what they did? It's like what we said earlier, corpus, computers. So these grammarians, they went through all the sayings of the Arabs, analyzing. You know what now this artificial AI, intelligence, all just analysis. So they put all these corpus, every single word there. And they found that the Arabs, they use nominal and they use the verbal. And the verbal sentence consists of a verb and a subject and an adverb, فاعل مفعول. And there is ماضي, past, حاضر, مستقبل. And if they want to negate a present tense, we say لا أحب, لا. They use لا. This is it's not easy. Now we have computers and we cannot do this. The same thing with hadith. If you ask Abu Huraira, who's the best in hadith, Aisha, what is sahih, what is hasan? These concepts were not actually at the time of the Prophet or some of the companions. They didn't know anything about sahih, hadith, hasan, da'if. Nothing. Isnad, what is isnad? If you bring a Bedouin now from the era of the Prophet ﷺ, and you ask him about all these things in Arabic, he said, this majnoon, this crazy. What are you talking about? But to see how much they did, these scholars, how they facilitate the knowledge for us. Amazing. For you now is Sahih, and you talk about Sahih, and for him, Shafi'i, to create the rules, how to give a fatwa, how to understand that this is amr. If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, Sallu, is this amr, is this command, or just you do something, it's just mustahab. How can we distinguish between these two? How? Again, his knowledge enabled him to create a whole discipline to facilitate the knowledge for us. So the same thing, the need for serving the Quran and the Sunnah of the Quran, and all of this. Why they did the grammar? Why? What the purpose? To understand the Quran. That's the only aim. That was the only aim. It's not to teach people Arabic as foreign language, or Arabic as second language. No, 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 no. Is to, and the great grammarian who actually wrote a book which is now, you cannot study Arabic grammar if you don't read this. They're called Al-Kitab, the book. Sibawayh. He was a Persian. And he wrote a book that it's still now the basic of the grammar in the Arabic language. It's like now people in the English language, if you don't know Shakespeare, if you don't read Shakespeare, if you don't memorize the plays of Shakespeare, you don't know anything about the English language, simply. Same thing for Sheikh Sibawayh. If you don't read Al-Kitab and learn Al-Kitab and study Al-Kitab,